In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the early previews for Foundations Jumpstart, which releases alongside Foundations, but is in fact its own separate set. So let's get into the video and talk about it. Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys do enjoy the video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Click the bell icon if you want to be notified when new videos are posted. But we are going to be talking about the Jumpstart Foundations today, and I know this can be a little confusing, so if you guys are unaware of the differences between the two products, I did make a video breaking down the entirety of Foundations and what the different sets are and what they represent, so you might want to check that out, but I'll give you a brief summary. Jumpstart, there's been a couple Jumpstart products. There was one released in 2020 and there was one released in 2022. Both of those products are generally regarded as pretty good. Jumpstart 2022 had some great reprints and some awesome new cards, and ultimately what Jumpstart is it's designed to be a, you open a couple packs, you put the themes together, and then you play against friends. It's a more streamlined, I guess, not draft experience, but like limited experience, and designed to help new players learn the game. It's based on themes and tribes, so there's, goblins, there's reanimate, there's all kinds of different strategies, and it was pretty well received. Now, you may be a little confused because there were also some Jumpstart sets that were released with like Dominaria United, Brothers War. Those were set exclusive Jumpstarts that didn't have any new cards really, except for like maybe a couple that they also mixed into the collector boosters, and they just were very poorly received. There was no value and they weren't worth buying. So I just want to clarify, this Jumpstart that comes with Foundations is like the other two Jumpstarts, 22 and 20, in the sense that it is going to have new cards and reprints and will likely be a pretty good value set. However, because it does have a different set ID, the J25 in that bottom left-hand corner, as well as the symbol, it is not a standard legal set unless cards in it are already legal in standard elsewhere. So it'll be legal in all Eternal formats like Commander, Legacy, and Vintage, but ultimately it's designed to be played as its own experience, and the benefit of being able to use these cards in other formats is that they do retain some value and stuff after you open them. If you look at Jumpstart 22, you'll see Ashko to the Shadow Swarm is one of the newer cards from that set, and it's very strong and like $40 to $50. So there is value in these Jumpstart sets when they put new cards in there. And one of the interesting things that they actually did with this Jumpstart from 22 was they actually had some anime art variants you could pull of certain uncommons, commons, rares in the set, and it was kind of a cool little twist that I guess added just a little bit extra. I think this is a good example here, Spell Stutter Strike. You can see that one. But it was cool. It was a neat product and I liked it, and I'm glad that they're actually going back to the roots for Jumpstart. You'll see there are a few reprints here that were already announced. Villas, Broker of Blood, Rymaz, King of Oreskos are already existing cards that are going to be reprinted in here, but both are pretty good, and there are the new cards that we're going to talk about today. So that explains very briefly what the difference is between the Jumpstart, but they are releasing side by side, which is cool. I think obviously establishing Foundations is something that is going to be carrying Magic kind of into the future, at least for the next 5 years, is nice to kind of have that extra stuff with it. Now, enough of me talking. We're going to start off with this General Crete the Boltbringer. This card, I absolutely love the art here. It's a goblin, so I'm a little biased. I think all the goblins are really cool, but it is a 2 and a red legendary creature, Goblin Soldier. This says whenever one or more goblins you control attack, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that is tapped and attacking. Then it says whenever another creature you control enters, General Crete the Boltbringer deals 1 damage to each opponent. This is like an Impact Tremors also with a token generator, which is extremely strong for goblins. Thankfully, it is a legendary creature, although I guess considering it's probably not likely to see play in many in formats outside of Commander, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. However, this feels like an auto-include in Goblins, being able to put extra pressure, especially if you're playing Krenko, where you're making a bunch of Goblin tokens to deal damage to the opponents. This can just add to the line of already existing powerful cards Goblins have to just burn multiple opponents very quickly. So it's just an awesome card. I really like the design and the art. It's super cool, and I just wanted to kind of lead off with this because I think it's just ironically the most impressive out of the new cards that we've gotten previews for so far. Generous Pup is 1 and a white. It is a dog creature. It has vigilance and says whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on Generous Pup, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. This ability triggers only once each turn. Again, not a ton to say about this one. It's very inexpensive to play. It fits really well into, dog kindred decks, I suppose. Rin and Seri will obviously love this, but it's just a solid card across the board. Kind of it's just good. Like, it's just a good, solid card that helps with dogs. This would be crazy if it was legal in Standard or Pioneer or other formats where you can maybe play it in conjunction with some other dogs and get, like, some token spam +1/+1 counter, like, buffing. But, you know, it's overall a really, really good card, and I think that's, yeah, that's good to see. Now, Shrufus Sprout Sire is just fantastic. I just feel like just a second, just stare into his eyes and appreciate the wonder that is this artwork here. This is a legendary creature, Saproling. It is 2 and a green with trample. Whenever a Saproling you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 green Saproling creature tokens. Holy shit. Not only is this artwork crazy, this effect is bonkers. If you're playing like Saproling, you know, Kindred decks and you're just spamming with a bunch of 1/1 Saprolings, you're making tokens every single time that Saproling deals damage, and it's based on the damage it deals. This is an extremely powerful card, and unless I'm misunderstanding something with the effect, but it is not hard to just spam the board with Saproling tokens and just be like ping, 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 and then you're essentially doubling your tokens every turn as long as some of the attacks get through. Just a phenomenally designed card, super goofy, but I love everything about it. This will probably slot into my Myco Tyrant deck if I can figure out a way to maybe make a few more Saprolings, but just an awesome card, man. I love everything about this card. It's really cool, and not a lot of comments yet, but I'm just looking to see if maybe people give some things, but it is technically the first printed Saproling that person did point out there, which I didn't even think of. Everything else before has been like Saproling tokens and stuff. This is an actual Saproling that's given that type. Just kudos to Shrufus, honestly. Just a fantastic card. Takeo the Patient Avalanche. Awesome artwork here. It is a Turtle Ninja. 3 and a blue legendary creature, Turtle Ninja. It enters tapped. Whenever another creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it did not die, scry 1 and put a +1/+1 counter on Takeo. Whenever Takeo attacks, you may play blue or black. When you do, target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn. This is definitely going to be like one of the face cards for one of the theme packs, without a doubt. And it is Dimir, so it does have a lot of interesting synergies and different directions you could take it. But it looks like it's going to be super strong with ninjutsu, because obviously when you're bouncing things to hand, you get counters on this, and you can make things not blockable, so you can make sure your ninjutsu gets through. Just a really, really cool card with some amazing, amazing artwork, and the kind of fun stuff we've started to see out of Jumpstart. So I'm very impressed by this one. Scythe Cat Cub, another really good cat. This is 1 and a green creature, cat with trample. It has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. If this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, double the number of +1/+1 counters on that creature instead. So a fetch land can just straight up double the number of counters on your creatures. That is wild. Landfall decks will love this. Honestly, any green decks using +1/+1 counters will probably love this, and I'm sure any cat decks are also going to love this. So it checks all the boxes. It feels very strong on paper. Just another really cool card. I feel like I'm not trying to just be overwhelmingly positive, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of stuff for Jumpstart that's just kind of like mid, but like so far, I'm very, very interested in a lot of this. Frontline Heroism is 2 and a red enchantment. Whenever it enters, create a 1/1 red soldier creature token with haste. Whenever you cast a spell that targets only a single creature you control, create a 1/1 red soldier creature token with haste, then copy that spell. The copy targets that token. So it's like they took Zada Hedron Grinder and put him onto an enchantment, but this is honestly has a lot going for it, just in the sense that you get the token on entry and then you continue to make tokens, and then obviously you're copying the spell, so you're getting some extra resources across the board. Feels kind of strong and low cost for what it gives you, but I guess you do have to sort of build around it, obviously. But yeah, not terrible. There's going to be a lot of decks that like this. Obviously, Zada will like this a lot, but it's just a solid enchantment, so not bad. So these are pretty much all the new cards. I think I covered everything. Hinterland Sanctifier is also new, and it is worth at least shouting out because it's a 1-drop, but it has the Soul Warden effect. Whenever another creature you control enters, gain a life. So, you know, not as good as the ones that do whenever a creature enters, but still the life gain is nice. And the Rabbit, you know, if you're playing Rabbit Kindred after Bloomburrow, there's a lot to like there. And then the only other new stuff here, I believe all 3 of these cards up top here are reprints, so not too much to dive into. But we got some cute little spoilers for Jumpstart with some interesting new cards. I'm sure as the releases continue, we'll be able to kind of parse out what else is in here, what the different Kindreds look like, and all of that. But I'm excited, so let me know what you guys think of the Jumpstart Foundations previews so far, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.